How's it going, everyone? This is Chris with Portio, and I would like to talk about where we are currently at within the app and its development. So to begin, we are going to start by logging into the app. You can find that by going to our main website at www.portioapp.com. You can click this large button asking you to join our alpha test. Clicking on that will actually take you to the login of the software. Go ahead and create an account if you're not already signed up. If you are, go ahead and log in. I'm going to do that now. Alright, so after logging in, you will be taken to this page. This is the My Properties page. Underneath the Properties nav panel. Let's talk about the nav panel real fast. You'll see that the dashboard does work. The link to My Properties, or the sub panel for My Properties, does work. The rest of this upper nav panel does not work. It is all disabled. These are things that we will be developing in the future. For now, we are just trying to get this base app done, get the dashboard, and get the single family rental property and those things that we're developing now, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Get those finished up, and then we'll start building out the rest of the app. Feedback is where you can go and tell us about any bugs that you encounter, or give us your comments or concerns. And of course, you can log out. Settings and account are not working yet either. Alright, so let's look at adding a property. Currently, we are allowing users to keep track of 3 separate properties. So let's go ahead and add our third one. Let's quickly go through these details, this details page. Just start by giving it a nickname. Let's just call it Red House. And it's located at 1234 Green Street. Now this type is interesting. What we're trying to do with Portio is we're trying to help users not only keep track of properties they own, but also keep track of properties that they are trying to purchase. So along with, one, having this calculator, we are also trying to keep track of those properties that would be within our pipeline. So portfolio would be properties that we own. Pipeline are properties that we don't own, but we are looking at and we are trying to purchase. So for now, there is no real difference other than what their status is, but eventually we will be trying to, we'll have different task lists and stuff that will generate for these different properties, as well as different features for the two. But for now, we're just going to go through the rest of the calculator, knowing that the status simply just for our knowledge. Income, let's say, we have $1,000 a month in rent, and let's say this would be a good time to go over how we would add in additional income. So again, this is monthly income. So let's say that we have a laundry machine that take coin-operated laundry machine. So let's say coin-operated, and let's say it generates $50 a month in income. So after we input these two values to actually have this added to our monthly income, we're going to click the plus button here, and now it's added to this, and we can keep adding more and more for however much we have. So next, the expenses. This would be a good time to talk about these question marks. So you'll find these on all the different values throughout the calculator. Another thing that we are trying to do is not only help experienced investors with calculating and keeping track of properties better, but also we want to help new investors, people who may have never invested before, learn how to do this. So this is a good way to train yourself and learn these different values and different verbiage that real estate investors and bankers and everybody use. So like insurance, well, maybe I don't know how to find the insurance and I don't want to call an insurance company. So a good way to do it would be to call an insurance company, but maybe I don't have that much time and I need to get an offer in quick. So what's a good way that I can find what our insurance would be? So we're trying to have little tooltips of what the insurance is, or what these different values are, why they're important, and then different ways that you could find that information quickly or better. So a useful tool while analyzing property is to use the insurance estimate for the property on sites such as Zillow or Realtor. Same with taxes and management, stuff like that. There's quick, easy ways to figure this information out. So let's just say that our insurance payment on this property is going to be $900 a month. Let's say the taxes on this bad boy are going to be $650. The management costs is going to be $750. Now CapEx, what is CapEx? So CapEx is short for capital expenditures. It kind of tells you more about it, why it's important, and how you can find those out. And it also tells you that most investors will choose to use a percentage-based value of the total yearly income. So what we can do is, instead of putting in a flat dollar amount like $900, well, let's click this little button down here on the end, do a percentage, and now if we say we're going to do a 10%, it'll actually be 10% of the total yearly income is what's being generated. Same for vacancies. Let's say this is a 10% vacancies. And then we also have a miscellaneous repair. This is small stuff, small repairs, so maybe most of the smaller things are in good condition. So we're only going to do 5% miscellaneous. We don't have any additional yearly expenses, so we're good to go. We're going to move on to the loan details. Let's say loan details, we're purchasing this guy for $60,000. We're going to put this on a 20-year note, and interest rates are fairly low right now, so we're going to probably get a 3.5% interest rate. Now the down payment, I could either do a flat dollar amount, I could figure that out. Maybe I'm only hoping to do a $10,000 down payment, or maybe instead the bank is going to let me get away with doing only a 10% down payment, so we can figure out what is the actual percentage of the purchase price, and that's what our down payment is going to be. So the property value, maybe I bought this on the courthouse steps, and we're going to immediately refinance it after I purchase it, and that's what these are the deals. This is the deal that the bank is going to allow us to do. They're going to refinance this property like this after we purchase it off the steps. So we'll add that, and this will bring up the summary, which is all the different important information that a bank would like to see. So after you're done with this, you could print this page out, and you could take it to a bank or a lender or whatever, and show them what this property would look like on paper in order for them to continue their loan process. So after we're done and we like the property, we can save the property, and we can add it to the rest of the properties that we are keeping track of. Alright, so after adding in a property and saving it, will take you to the dashboard page. So let's go over the dashboard. This is one of the three main things that we are currently working on next to get added into this software. Some of these things won't be up immediately, but for the most part we are trying to add in the functionality to where the pipeline and portfolio properties will be separated, and then this information will only count for portfolio properties. Anything that's listed as a pipeline property won't be added to these. Right now they are, so you can see the total income for all of them, but we only want to know what we actually own, because if we don't own it, we're not actually generating that income, right? Or the expenses, or the profit and loss, or cash flow. So portfolio properties will end up getting listed on this. It will also display the net worth, and then we're going to add in a calendar and tasks manager to where we can see all the different things that we need to take care of for these properties. So maybe on this task list we just added in a pipeline house, so we're going to say, hey, we have an inspection in 2 weeks, or on this day and this time for this property. So that task will be linked to this property, tell us when we need to do it, and it'll give us a little notification saying, hey, that's coming up. Maybe we have this as a rental property already and we currently own it, and so we set up a task for every 6 months we need to change out the HVAC filter. So we know that that's coming up, and we can see that on our calendar task list for tomorrow. And so we are going to go tomorrow and change the HVAC filter, and that will actually notify us, and ideally send us push notifications and everything, so that we don't forget to do the important tasks to keep and maintain our properties the correct way. other than that, plans will be like an expense tracker, just kind of like the same way that QuickBooks does it. We can link our bank accounts, and anytime a transaction is posted to our bank accounts, we can either list that as an income or an expense for a specific property, and that way we can keep track of the actual cash flow for a property straight from our bank account. And if we need to, we can also add in paper or receipt capture expenses or anything like that as well. Next, one of the other big three things that we are adding in on our property page. If you click view, it's going to bring up a page specifically for that property. It gives us a quick little rundown of how that property is performing. We can see here each unit. So right now it's a single family residence. Maybe in the future when we have this as a multifamily or we add in a multifamily property, we'll actually see multiple of these blocks, one for each unit, giving us the tenant information, what type of lease they're on, and any pertinent work orders, pertinent information that would be specific for those units. We can also see the details. This will run full reports, multiple different types of reports for individual properties. That way we can tell how good it is. We can run those reports to the bank, or at the end of the year for tax time, we'll have all that information ready to go right from here for each individual property. And then we'll have all those tasks that are linked to these properties, to the specific properties. We'll be able to see the tasks for those properties. And just like I mentioned earlier when we were adding a property, if this was a pipeline property, a pre-planned list would auto-generate in this task list, and we will know that, hey, to actually own this property, you need to, 1, get this inspected. 2, we need to go to the bank and show them the property. 3, we need to talk to the title company and let them know, or whatever the list might look like. You can customize those lists for whenever you put them in. Maybe there's something that you do special. Maybe you don't work with maybe you do the inspection yourself. So instead of getting with an inspection company, you plan on going out there and doing that inspection yourself. So you could put that in as a custom task or whatever. And then beyond that, this would be where all the actual bank account listed and linked transactions would be for this property. So you'd be able to see all the different information, the actual financial information, real time, in this page as well for the property. And the third thing that we are currently working on, if we go to, the easiest way to show this would be to edit a property. On the summary page, we plan on adding in a block here. We are currently calling it the test block and scenarios block. It will allow you to run multiple different scenarios, changing just one factor. So this would be like the base scenario going through here. You'd be able to change just one factor in these other scenarios. Maybe I increase the rent by 5% on scenario 2. Scenario 3, I changed the interest rate just a little bit. Scenario 4, maybe I'm increasing or decreasing the total loan amount or the purchase price. And so what that'll do is it'll run tests on all these to see what the best DSCR is. Whether or not you pass your DSCR test. Maybe I know that whatever I do, the DSCR needs to be at least a 1.25. I want to see at least a 6% interest rate, and I want to see at least $150 a month cash flow. And so it'll kind of show you which of those scenarios would pass those tests, and a few others. We're going to let you set up your own tests, as well as give you a bunch of pre-generated tests. It'll show you which of those scenarios would achieve the most of those tests, and then it'll also tell you, hey, this scenario technically on paper would show it is the best. This gives you the highest cap rate, this gives you the highest DSCR, this gives you the highest cash flow, whatever, doing it this way. And so you can kind of set those tests up yourself and see right from this page what you would need to do to make this property worth it for you. Alright, so that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the little walkthrough and tutorial of the software so far. If you have any feedback, comments, questions, about the software, about what we're doing, about how to use the software better, please reach out to us. Talk to us through feedback here. Find us on Twitter or Facebook. Go to our website. You can also find us on there, and links to all of our social media there. We would love any feedback on how we can make this software better and more user-friendly. Our ultimate goal with Portio is to allow as many people find financial freedom and happiness through real estate investing as we possibly can. So any feedback you would have will be able to help us further that goal. And again, I'm Chris with Portio. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a great day.